What's up? It's Juice Beats, back again with another race video. And this one is the Music City Crit Series race, number 9 in the series. So, almost done. There's one more after this. I won't be making that one because I'm actually going out of town for that. So this is my last race in the Music City for 2024. Another 40-minute race. We averaged 25.7, I would say 26 miles an hour in this one. And I had a 251 watt average, a 328 normalized with a 1258 max, and another 50-50 left-right balance in this one. So I believe this was probably the fastest race that I had been a part of in the 3.4s this year. Yeah, like I said, we averaged about 26 miles an hour in this one, and yeah, we were moving pretty well throughout this whole race. This was one of the bigger fields as well. Some teams that were represented, obviously Nashville local. We had Safety Herd. Those are the pink kits that you'll see here in just a little while. Mustangs, obviously my team worked hard, Be Humble in this one. And I'm trying to think, I think Hattie B's maybe in this one as well, and then some other unattached. So some things happened in this race. I want to get to it here in just a minute, but from what I remember, the day was really nice. Obviously you can see the weather out there. It looks really good. Nice blue skies and very, very hot and sunny. I've got the ice pack going on my back, I believe, in this one as well. So another hot, humid day. Got to stay cool throughout the race as well. And you can see I'm sitting up here towards the front. I'm in third wheel. And there's actually two guys off the front that went really, really early, right off the jump from the start finish. So you might be able to see them way out there in front. Yeah, it's like I said, I mean, it's super early. They're going around the turn already. I could just see them there. But I think it was a Safety Herd and a Nashville local that went off the front that early. And yeah, not gonna really respect that this early in the race, right off the jump. I don't believe anybody in the group could go from the start gun all the way to the end, so that is why I'm not really pushing that as much. And yeah, and you can see we're starting to lift up a little bit here and get a little bit faster. So not really sure why Safety Herd decided to take the reins at the front here, because they do have representation out there in that small breakaway there. But yeah, I mean, if they're going to jump out there up front and push the pace, why not just follow them? So we should be able to catch them here in just a little bit. And here we go around basically the first turn, and we're catching up to them here. But you can see what's going to happen. So we catch up to them, and then here we go. We've got some attacks going. Got to be able to follow this. I was sitting behind a wheel and kind of getting swarmed around, so I kind of had to wait my turn a little bit to figure out where to go, so I didn't hit anybody or anything. But yeah, right off on it. Nice little attack there. That's what you want to do. When you catch up to the breakaway, you want to attack the breakaway, and that's exactly what they're doing. Basically swapping teammates and pushing the pace even more here. So good tactics there by Nashville local, but looks like everybody was kind of ready for it, and we're all together again here. I think one of the things about the bean or the pill shape here, you don't have to kind of sit towards the front that much, because it's so simple and it's not very technical or anything like that. You just you can kind of sit in the peloton a little bit more than you would around the 180. 180, you kind of want to sit towards the front because that's where a lot of the things happen. But obviously there are, different tactics and different things that go on in these races. So you just never know from race to race what's going to happen. But I would say for the most part, you can kind of sit in on this one, and things aren't going to go too crazy at the front. But you just never know. You got to watch out for it. You got to watch out for the strong guys, and kind of mark some guys in the group and make sure that they're not pushing it and getting away from everybody. Here we are a few laps later, lap 9 it looks like, and we've got 3 out front, and we've got a chaser or a bridger trying to bridge up to those 3. So, I would say at this point in the race, not super dangerous. They're not like super far, maybe 10, 12 seconds or something like that. You can see barely, but you can kind of see the bridger there. And I can't remember who was represented in this one, because I've been kind of scrubbing through and watching to see who was out there. My guess is that there's a safety herd and Nashville local out there, though. Just judging by the speed of the peloton at the moment, you can see we're not pushing it at the moment, so that just means that they've got some representation and they're not trying to push the pace to get closer to them. So definitely going to have to try to push the pace a bit here in just a minute if things don't get a little bit closer. I think one of the reasons why I'm kind of tail gunning a little bit at the moment was because I was kind of watching to see, who was going to take charge, who might try to go walk those guys down, but might have to start moving it here. We are starting to move. It looks like somebody pushing the pace out there, out front, and let's see what happens here. We're going to break it up. Seems like we're doing okay, but they still got a little bit of a lead out there. So yeah, definitely. It's hard for me to remember exactly like what I was thinking during the race at this point. It's been several weeks or whatever, but to me, like just looking at this, I'm thinking that we definitely got to push the pace a little bit more if we're going to catch up to those guys. Obviously, still a lot of race left, like 30 minutes or a little less than 30 minutes. But if we want to close that, we definitely got to start pushing the pace a little bit more here in just a few. And we've got to get some guys that, collectively want to work and hopefully beat out some of these other teams who we know are kind of blocking and whatever. But it looks like there is somebody out there that's not on one of those teams that is trying to push the pace and trying to catch up to the guys that are out there in that break there. And it seems like every time we slow down, it might be because one of the teams that has representation is kind of slowing down the pace or catching up. So that could be why everything's kind of fanning out like this and slowing down. If I was in better position, that would have been a good chance to kind of break off and try to catch up to those guys out there. You can see they're not really that far though. Like I can see. It looks like there's a couple wheels out there, and they might be less than 10 seconds now. So we are kind of catching up to them a little bit, even though it's small chunks here and there. So it's been a couple more laps here. We've got a little fan out here again. There are 2 off the front. We did absorb 2 of the guys that were out there, so there's only 2 out front at the moment, and they're kind of keeping us maybe around 10, 12 seconds at bay at the moment. I want to say that one of them is Safety Herd and the other is Nashville Local, if I remember correctly. So obviously the 2 big teams in this race are, fighting to keep their guys out front at the moment. We are, I guess, about halfway through the race at this point, so definitely got to start thinking about, hey, we got to close this down and keep it all together, somebody's got to bridge up to those guys, and we've got to make some moves here. We have been moving fairly well though, so what I'm thinking in my head, I believe, is that we're going to just catch these guys, just the way we've been moving. There's been some attacks at the front, trying to move the pace along. You can see we're moving at 30 miles an hour on this backstretch. So when we're moving like this, that means that somebody at the front there is trying to catch up here, trying to put in that move to catch up to those guys out there. So I don't really worry about that much. But when things slow down and we're in the 23 mile per hour range, going a little bit too slow, that's when I'm like, okay, they're trying to block us or hold the pace so that we're not catching up to those guys. So definitely watching out for that. I am kind of tail gunning at the moment, which I don't know. I mean, there's some schools of thought on that. Like some races you can tail gun and be fine and save all your energy for the end, which I felt like I was kind of doing for this race as well. But yeah, I think at some point you've got to take a look and see what's going on at the front there, and maybe you got to take charge or move up to the front a little bit more to see what's going on. But I mean, the way we've been moving the last couple laps, I haven't worried about it. Kind of like I'm tail gunning here, and I'm putting in a little bit of effort, but then I'm able to kind of draft really well behind these guys, and you can see I'm not even having to put any watts down at certain points. So that's a good way to save some energy there and get basically a free ride. So that's why I haven't really moved up as much just in the last couple laps. But I know, just knowing myself and thinking about the race as well, that at some point I'm going to have to move up. I'm going to have to make some moves to move up positions and try to better my position in this race and make sure that I'm closer up to the front there, and possibly, if we can, catch up to those two riders that are out front there. But like I said, when you have representation out there and you've got a pretty decent squad of teams that are doing a good job of blocking and making sure that you don't go anywhere, then it's kind of tough. But here I go. I'm trying to make this little move out here, trying to move up spots here, just like I said I was thinking. So I move up a whole bunch of spots. I knew that things were kind of calming down there. It's the movement here. Let's follow these guys. So that's, I've been tail gunning, but now more than halfway through the race here, got to start watching these moves, got to start moving up, and I feel like I'm in good position. Okay, here we go. I kind of remember this part. So I attack the peloton here. I'm trying to bridge up to those two guys. Okay, I do kind of remember that. And yes, one of them is Safety Herd. You can see right here, as soon as I start to kind of go, we've got, who's that? Max behind me, yeah. So Max on Safety Herd, he's got me marked. He's not gonna try to let me go. Obviously, he's not gonna pull through either. I look behind me at this point and see that he's right on me. I didn't realize that we had a little bit of a gap at first, but yeah, everybody kind of came up right there, and here we go. Here's the counter attacks. So now I got to lift up again after doing a big dig here.
What did he say?
Luckily, the rest of the peloton's responding, so I can kind of fall in and get a little bit of a break after that, because that was a big attack trying to get out there. And Max even said it was tough holding on to my wheel on that one as well. But yeah, I mean, that's what I've got to do if we want to catch up to those couple guys that are out there. Now that I remember this, like I said, it's been a few weeks and my bad, but yeah, there's a couple guys out there, and one of them is Safety Herd, and I want to say the other one is Nashville Local. So Obviously, the two big teams are not going to be helping on this one. So one of the mistakes I remember making as well in this race was not communicating to the other guys that are in the race that are not on teams that, hey, we need to work together to get back to those two guys, because for one, we all have motivation to catch them. Obviously, we don't want to let the two big teams go, and two, they're not going to work with us. So it's up to us, the ones who are not on those teams, to catch up. So that was one of the mistakes. I wasn't talking to anybody about trying to bridge up at that point and trying to make a connection. So that's obviously, that's something that I'm still learning, and even though I'm on a team and I've been racing for a while, it's different because I haven't had teammates to work off of or anything like that. So I haven't really been able to do that in any of my races. I've basically been solo, and obviously being out here in Nashville and knowing a lot of these guys, I should have been able to be like, hey, let's work together. Let's try to get out there. Let's try to get these couple teams out there and bridge up to them. But yep, still learning. I would say. I mean, obviously it's been about 3 years since I started racing, but yeah, every time that I get out there, it's still a learning experience. I'm still trying to get a grasp on everything, and I haven't had that team tactic or team dynamic yet either. So that's another thing that's going to be coming up here soon, and I guess this is as good a time as any to kind of announce. So after this race, I was talking to Terrell and Chris and a few other guys, and they had been talking about joining another team. And while I do love Work Hard, Be Humble and everything, I haven't had any teammates, and there's no other Cat 3s or Cat 2s that I can work with at the moment. So we had talked about joining Grind City, and they're out of Memphis. And it's another friend of mine, Derek. He wasn't at this race for this one, but he had actually talked to me about joining before I joined Work Hard, Be Humble. And at the time I was thinking, they're out of Memphis. I don't know how this would work, but this was a while ago. And just thinking about, Nashville's closer, I could, hang out with Nashville guys or whatever, but didn't really realize that's not really how it works. But anyway, so a lot of the guys that are out here are like Terrell, Chris, and some others are going to join Grind City. I joined up with Grind City, and so now we've got a team of some 3s and 4s that I can work with. Obviously haven't been able to work with them yet, but it will be coming hopefully soon in a future race this year. But yeah, that's my official announcement into Grind City. And so switching over from Work Hard, Be Humble to Grind City out of Memphis. And I'm looking forward to it because, now we'll have some team dynamics. We'll have a chance to compete in races like this. And do things like Safety Herd and Nashville Local does, where they block the rest of the peloton and mark guys and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to some team dynamics and team tactics out here. But anyway, back to this race. They're still keeping us at bay about that 10, 12 second mark. So teams are doing a really good job of making sure that time difference is not going anywhere. And obviously we're closing down to the last few laps, so we've got to make something happen here. We've got to get past these teams that are blocking us at this point. So just thinking here that we need to make some moves and make something happen. And like I said, I made that mistake of not talking to other guys in the group about trying to make these moves and trying to bridge up or even just trying to bring the whole peloton up there. We've got to take charge at the front. And we weren't doing that here. I remember at this point I was kind of conserving energy. I knew that if I wanted to kind of try to bridge up to them, that I needed to settle down just a little bit, conserve a little bit of energy on this lap, and then start to kind of push it, because we're coming down to it. We're in the last few laps of this race here. So I knew that I wanted to conserve that energy at this point in the race so that I could make this move. But look behind me here. So Fong is talking to me right now. He's asking me like, hey, how you feeling? How you going? You ready to go? And yeah, I said, yeah, let's go. So I was feeling pretty good, and here we go. We got somebody I'm working with here. I put in a good punch. We're over 400, 500 watts here. We're still moving really well, trying to make this move here, and you can see the rest of the peloton. There's that Matt Manley right behind me from the Mustangs. He jumps on, and yeah, the rest of the peloton is right there behind. I remember looking behind me at this point. I'm like, dang it. You know, we had a good burst. I thought we caught some guys off guard, and we got a good punch out of it, but it just wasn't enough right there to get away or make that leap. And yeah, the rest of the peloton's right there with us, and so we kind of conceded at that point. But at the same time, like, I'm looking, you know, Matt Manley's by himself. There's Terrell. Fong was just with me right there on that. We've got this Tyler on the right here. Yeah, we've got guys that are basically unattached that should have been like, hey, let's make another move right here. Let's all try to make this move to catch up right here, because yeah, I mean, we're all basically going for third place at this point, and yeah, we don't need to be doing that, and that's why, you know, when Fong was talking to me, we were trying to make that move. Maybe it was a little too early, you know, 5 laps to go at that point. Maybe it was a little too early, but we had to try something. And yeah, I mean, we had to try to bridge up, because those guys are still keeping us at bay at that 10 to 15 second mark, and we've got to close that thing down for the end of this race here. But I fell back to the middle here, just feeling, after doing that punch and then, you know, seeing it get shut down after half a lap or whatever, or less than half a lap. Feeling a little tired, wanted to settle back in a little bit and try to conserve a little bit more energy. Thinking to myself, like, you know, if we can't get this thing together, then we might just have to be going for third at this point and see what happens. So I mean, you can see, like, we're pushing it. We're going 30 miles an hour on this backstretch, so it's kind of hard to move up at this point too. But yeah, I mean, coming down to the last few laps, there's still a chance that we can catch up, but yeah, like I said, it's going to take some cooperation from other guys. It's not going to come from the two big teams, and obviously, you know, they've got a lot of representation in this race, so very tough to get things going at this point in the race. And here we go, 1 to go. Not sure why I fell back this far at this point, but I probably because I was a little tired, but I conserved all that energy, and then you know, kind of popped off with Fong. You know, 5 laps to go, and so now I'm kind of sitting in the middle of the peloton here and having to push out a lot of watts on this last lap. And it's very tough to move up on this last lap when everybody is pushing as hard as they are. I mean, we're going 35 miles an hour, 36 miles an hour. I am passing a few people because I've got, you know, just that little bit of energy here. Maybe should have kept going a little bit. I still had a little bit more room there to keep going around there, but obviously that pinch point scares me sometimes. Don't want to get pinched too far and hit that barrier or anything like that. But Had a little bit left for this end here. I don't even remember. I don't even think I got up to sprint. I think I just kind of sat and then sprinted through. So didn't have a whole lot left at that point. You know, I put in a lot of effort on that backstretch, but yeah, finished out, I think 9th in that race. I just checked it, it's 10th. So I finished out 10th in that race. Very, very tough race for me. I wanted to get on the podium one last time here at the Music City, but just wasn't in the cards that day. Those two guys ended up being, I think 1 and 2. I'm not sure if they got caught. I was trying to remember. Maybe one of them got caught. The other one ended up winning from safety herd. But yeah, I mean that was definitely a tough race. There towards the end, trying to make things happen, and just didn't quite have it there. But yeah, notice, you know, the mistakes there, just, you know, not talking to the other guys in the peloton and trying to make things happen. Definitely going to start trying to do that a little bit more, and yeah, now joining a new team, Grind City, should have some better team tactics going forward. But anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you know when I post videos. And yo, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.